hello, my lovelies. How are you? Good morning. It is a chilly, rainy Sunday morning where I am at the moment. 7 more days, and I will be on my way to Pennsylvania for the big move. I'm so excited. So I've been trying to keep myself busy for the next week. So, yeah, totally lost my train of thought there. Anyway, if you are Shanny is almost homeless. Yes, Shanny for life. I actually just watched her short about 1 week to live. That was fantastic. Gotta keep those legs elevated, girl. Oh boy. Now there's gonna be some people that will watch this and be like, how can you laugh at the fact that someone's going to be homeless? And I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for Shanny or Rev whatsoever. Am I moving to Scranton? No, I'm moving probably, I think it's about 2 hours south of Scranton. We're going to be in just outside of Gettysburg. But there's going to be some people that watch this and be like, how can you laugh at somebody going to be homeless? And you know what? These are just the consequences of Shanny's actions. I don't feel sorry for her and Rev whatsoever. They have had plenty of opportunity to improve themselves, improve their situation, and they have done absolutely nothing. They have spent the last 2 years that they've been in Pennsylvania. I think it's 2 years. They moved in 2020, wasn't it? Thank you. Yeah, I think it was in 2020 that they moved originally to Pennsylvania and lived in the uncle's house first for a while. So they've had 2 years of being in Pennsylvania where they could have gone out and gotten jobs and done the things that they need to do in order to improve their situation. And all they've done is gone from one situation of people supporting them to another. And they've done absolutely nothing to help themselves. So now they're having to deal with the reality of their own situation, and I don't feel bad for them, not at all. And why should we? They're upset that they can no longer live off of other people, and they're blaming the other people for no longer enabling them to be lazy bums, and it was just the other day that Shanny made a video about how she's done with the drama. She's too old for drama. And then now she's being super dramatic by saying that Gary has signed a death warrant for her, or that G-Man signed a death warrant for her. And it's absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to watch her two little, I think it's like 8 minutes in total of her Twitch stream. And where she's just basically crying about their situation. Feel bad for me. We're going to be homeless. Feel bad for me. And at this point, why? What's the point? Why would we feel bad for you when you've had plenty of opportunity to help yourself and you haven't even tried? Like, it would be different if they were actually trying to show improvement for themselves. Like, they were applying for jobs and just not getting anything. They were making strives to better themselves and it just wasn't working. I would have some sympathy for that. But they're not even trying. They're just sitting around expecting other people to take care of them and doing nothing for themselves. And that's just not how life works. And she had plenty of opportunity and plenty of time to get up off her ass and try and do something with herself to avoid this situation. And she hasn't, and Rev hasn't. And the two of them are just sitting around crying now that they don't have anybody to take care of them. Shanny will not be dead in a week. No, she won't. That's just her trying to be dramatic to try and get sympathy. But I mean, there's been enough people now where they don't donate to them anymore, because what's the point? They don't make any attempts to help themselves. So why would we feel inclined to help them in any way? So let's go ahead and watch her here. Oh, why are you not full screen? There we go.
Just don't care anymore. It's a lot more stable than it was since I upgraded or got the upgrade for OBS. more stable. That's great. A lot more stable. So it was OBS, it wasn't the internet per se.
Right.
Hey, Dean Machine.
So,
Yep.
I just want to say this is probably my last broadcast I'm ever going to make. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But me and Jason are about to be fully on the streets. And I need a lot of prayers right now. Because I'm scared to death because it's pretty much G-Man gave me a death sentence.
Now, see, that's where instead of saying, I'm responsible for my situation, it's G-Man's fault. G-Man's the one that's going to kill her or the cause of her death. Because G-Man cut them off. G-Man can't support them anymore. And as much as I don't like G-Man and I think he's an asshole, he's not able to enable them anymore to sit around and do nothing, which is what he's been doing for the last, how long since they've been in his house. He's been putting them up in a hotel since he kicked them out of the house that he's now trying to rent in Scranton. Like, how long did they expect that to go on? Like, Shanny is so just departed from reality. And she has this expectation that everybody needs to take care of her and she needs to do nothing to take care of herself. And now reality and life is just kind of coming back to bite her in the ass because she's not doing anything. Right? And I don't feel sorry for people like that. I do not feel sorry for her as much as I do not like his right. Exactly. It's not his responsibility to take care of two grown-ass adults that refuse to take care of themselves. That's exactly right.
That's how I feel. I've been served a death sentence. Because I know I can't sit right. I know I can't sit like normal people, or I get really, really bad edema. And that increases my risk of a stroke very bad. And I know it's going to happen this time because it almost happened when we drove out to Pennsylvania from Colorado.
And that was 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago. That was in June 2020. So she's known that she's had this health condition that could cost her life. But what steps has she taken to improve her health to avoid that situation? See, most people that are told, your weight and your health is a problem, it's going to kill you, it's possibly could, give you a stroke or a heart attack. Most people with that kind of wake-up call are going to be like, hey, maybe I need to change my lifestyle. Maybe I need to work on getting healthier so I can reduce my risk of those things happening. But what Shanny has done for the last 2 years, sit on her ass and change nothing. So you can sit there and blubber on camera all you want, girl, but we don't feel sorry for you. Hey, Dude Brothers. Hey, Lady Starfire. Is this live now?
My
No.
legs swell. Like, even CPS saw it, like, for 2 hours of me just sitting, just talking to the boys, of my legs swelling double its size, and me not being able to walk very well because of it. And he doesn't care. At the end of the day, he doesn't care.
If he didn't care, he wouldn't have offered for you to stay in the house in the first place when Rev's uncle kicked you out. If he didn't care, he wouldn't be paying for all your bills and food for the past year that you were kicked out of the uncle's house. Again, I don't like G-Man, but it's not his responsibility to care about you're not his wife, you're not his family, you're his friend. And even as a friend, he has done so much for you guys without you attempting to help yourselves. And now he can no longer support you because he's not in a financial place to do so. And you're laying the blame on him because he's not continuing to take care of all of your bills and take care of you like you're a child. It's not G-Man's responsibility to make sure that you have a place to live, or that you have food in your mouth, or that your health is taken care of. That's your responsibility. And we've seen that you've taken zero responsibility for your own health.
If I die.
If you die, that's on you.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He'd rather take the house that we gave him out of the kindness of our hearts, even though we knew.
So this just shows that she still sees that house as hers and Rev's. Because they didn't have enough forethought to be like, hey, we might need this house in the future. We're going to sell it to G-Man for $1 and let him have it. And he did. He did help you. He did let you stay in the house. For how long? And he was paying the bills. Because the utilities were in his name. The taxes are in his name. Now, whether or not he pays those taxes, that's a different story. But how long did you expect to coast in that house rent-free and have G-Man pay all of your bills and you do nothing in return other than sit on your ass? And now you have the audacity to sit here and bitch that he's no longer supporting you after how many months of him supporting your ass and providing for you and your boys. Like, what an ungrateful little bitch. Well, not little, but you know what I mean.
We were going to be homeless.
She's got enough blubber for winter. They were.
And he'd rather...
They were given everything. And that's the thing, is she's so entitled that she's sitting here expecting everything to still be handed to her. And now that it's not, she's crying, oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Instead of saying, maybe I should, try and help myself even in the slightest. And even if she is unhealthy enough to not get a job anywhere else, what's Rev's excuse? Rev could go out and get a job and at least have some money coming in, but he sits around just like she does. So I don't feel sorry for either of them.
Rent the place out so he can get money to sue Dragnot than to save his own.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious that he wants to sue G-Man or sue Dragnot. I'd like to see that happen. But there's no way that G-Man's going to be able to rent that house for $1,500. But that's besides the point. The fact that that's Shanny's concern and that's what she's upset about is really sad.
Sister's life. And I'm supposed to not be angry about
She
this.
did.
I'm supposed to not be scared about this.
You can be scared all you want, but you have no right to be angry at G-Man. No right whatsoever. Considering how much financial support you've received from that man over the last year, no, you do not have a right to be angry at G-Man because he cut you off finally. Like, that's just not how that works.
I'm supposed to feel this way of not being scared when I know I'm gonna die.
You're not gonna die.
Sitting in that car because I can't. I have to keep my legs elevated or I'll get a blood clot. He gave me a death sentence and he doesn't care. He doesn't fucking care.
I'm going to sit here and try and guilt G-Man and say that he doesn't care, even though he's given me how many thousands of dollars over the last year and gave me food and presents for my boys. It's all his fault. Like, she has zero self-awareness. Zero. She's so entitled that it's disgusting.
Just so he can sue fucking Dragnot. Like, when that guy was homeless.
Yes, exactly. Instead of preparing and making a plan to not be homeless, she's on the internet again. Exactly. Exactly. They have been in that hotel for what, 3 months now? And they still haven't done anything. Like, they still haven't come up with a game plan or goals or anything to try and avoid this situation. It's not like this situation hasn't been looming over their heads for the past year and a half, and they've just happened to luck out and not be homeless yet. They knew that this was a possibility and yet did absolutely nothing to try and prepare for it. Oh, Jesus, my goddamn phone. I can't wait till I get to Pennsylvania and I get a new phone. Oh, William, what is that? That is cool. Awesome. Okay, I will check that in a minute. I'm getting distracted. Why should he care about you when you've shown you don't give it? Exactly. Exactly. Like, you can't help somebody that is not interested in helping themselves. And, you know, I would see if they were trying to show any type of improvement in any way to help their situations, I would feel a little more sympathetic towards them. But they just want to be able to sit on their ass and be on the internet all day and have somebody else take care of them for the rest of their lives. And they're two grown-ass adults, and that's just not how life works. You don't get to do that. It's the frame for the Hobbit hole. Oh, cool. We need more videos out at the camp so we can see. Some days she won't have internet. Yep. Some days she's not going to have internet. That's probably going to be in the next couple of days, whenever they probably have the hotel room to the end of the month. So I'd imagine they'd be able to stay where they are until Friday, and then they'd have to be out on the 1st, and then they'd have to, I guess they're planning on living in the car, and that's what she's crying about, is being cramped in that car. She's not going to be able to survive because she has to elevate her legs. So G-Man warned them that he could like G-Man himself was just a couple of weeks ago said that he told them the money was running out and he was not going to be able to financially support them anymore. So it's not like they haven't had any warning. And yet, what have they done to help themselves? Nothing. We've been filming since April. It's going to be an 1.5 hour long video. Ooh, well, I look forward to that. I love the whole like off-grid shit. That's like, it's one of the goals that me and my husband have eventually when we are able to buy some property in Pennsylvania, is we want to be off-grid as much as possible. All right, let's go back to hearing some more blubbering. This one's almost done, then we'll have to switch to the other one.
When that guy needed a place, we gave him so much.
And when you needed a place, he provided for you. He let you stay in the house. He gave you money for food. He paid the utility bills. He paid so that you could have internet. I mean, how much do you expect this? Like, just because you sold the house to him for $1 doesn't mean that now he is obligated to, spend the rest of his life making sure that you have a place to stay. Like, where's your personal responsibility here? You have something relevant for me to play? Okay. But like, I don't understand the entitlement here. Like, she's acting like suddenly he hasn't helped her. Like, all of the financial help that he's given to her in the last year just doesn't matter all of a sudden. Now G-Man doesn't care. Hi, Knitting Gamer. Shanny is just getting what she deserves. Rock bottom, here they come. Exactly. And you know what? Unfortunately, for some people, you've got to hit rock bottom in order to get that wake-up call to be like, hey, I need to do something here, Like, so maybe this is finally going to be a spot where they have to do something. Like, they're going to have to. Because they're going to be in the car. They're not going to have money for gas. They're not going to have money for food. Winter's coming. They're going to freeze to death in that car. Like, they're going to have to do something. And they've had so much opportunity to be able to improve their situation over the past 2 years of being in Pennsylvania, and they've done nothing. Absolutely nothing to help themselves. And, you know, they've been fortunate enough to have people help them out once they were in PA, right? Think of all the people out there that don't have supports behind them, that just end up in that situation and they've got no one to help them, you know? Like Shanny and Rev are very fortunate that they had Rev's uncle and that they had G-Man help as long as they could. So, I mean, she's totally, she's just an ungrateful little brat who just wants somebody to take care of her for the rest of her life. That's all she wants. She wants to be a lazy ass that sits on the internet all day and does nothing. She gave up her kids, has done absolutely nothing to work towards getting her kids back, you know? So, I mean, she's just proving to everyone that her boys are better off without her because she's just got no interest in improving herself to get them back, you know? And now her and Rev are going to be living in a car. And they've only got themselves to blame for that. Whoops. Click the wrong thing. Okay, we're going to, is this the next one? Yes, this is the next one, I believe. Or is this the same one?
Don't care anymore.
Nope, wrong one. Yes, I'm muttering to myself. Okay, so this is the next one. Are we going to get ads? Oh, no. Yes, we're going to get ads. God damn it. I don't think XX Archive has uploaded this yet, which is why I'm watching it on Twitch. Because I wanted to cover it before it got deleted. But I'm also curious to see if G-Man responds to this. Think about how those boys feels when they thought this was temporary and it turns out to be permanent because mom never tried. Yep. Whoops.
That's what I got for helping someone.
She's acting like, that's what I get for helping someone. I get to be homeless. Totally disregarding the last 2 years of people helping you. Totally disregarding that. Like, what a selfish cow. Wow.
In need and putting myself and my husband putting himself behind for his fucking needs, putting him first.
Oh, see, now it's G-Man's fault that they got kicked out of Colorado. It put them behind on their bills because they were taking care of G-Man. Give me a fucking break. Whoops. I personally offered Shanny a link to my place of employment. It was a home job and they provide computers and training. She said they don't want jobs. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. It's like she's sitting here going, I can't work, I can't work, I can't work. And she started doing that in 2020 when they moved to Colorado, or when they moved to Pennsylvania and they moved into the uncle's house. They had internet. It's now is the era of at-home jobs. Right? Everybody's working from home now, especially in 2020. Everybody is working from home. So there was lots of opportunity to get jobs to work from home. She sits on her ass on the internet all day long anyway. So why wouldn't you look into getting one of those type of customer service jobs or data entry jobs or the plentiful jobs that were being offered to work at home? Anyway, like you're online anyway. Why not do something to make some money while you're doing it? But she's done nothing, made no attempt. And it's really sad. So that's why it's so difficult to not feel sorry for her, because she's done nothing. I just think it's crazy how the last video was about her changing and learning from past mistakes, and then we get this. Yeah, exactly. She's just full of baloney. That's all it is. You know, and it's hard to take her seriously when she says, oh, I'm putting the past behind me. I'm too old for drama. And that here we have her blubbering over and being dramatic over something that she had plenty of time to prepare herself for. She picked Rev over those boys. Yeah, absolutely she did. One time she said CPS can take my kids, it will take away my financial burden. Yep. Also took away all their food stamps. I bet they wish they had that 700K yet. Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. It's like it's mind-boggling to think that 4 years ago they had 700K, and had they just been smart about it, they could still be living off of that, you know? And yet they were so irresponsible and blew everything, and now look at them. They're going to be living in a car. There was an old video before Colorado where Shanny was opening all these Amazon packages of junk, butterfly wing cape and cheap butterfly lights. Yeah, like they were just the. I get wanting to buy pretty things, but to the point where you purchase so much junk, and like remember when the shit ninjas went into the townhouse after they moved out, and there was like 5 laptops that were sitting there, Rev's magic collection. Like, how many things that they could have just turned around and sold for money that they just left there? So not only were they wasteful in purchasing things, they were also wasting the stuff that they purchased and just leaving it, that they could have made at least some money back on it, right? She's hurt so many people in her life. Yeah, and a lot of it, because remember, when she first got monetized, people used to super chat her all the time. People used to be giving her donations and things like that, right? What happened to that? Because they have consistently shown their audience that they're only using them for money and that they're not doing anything with their lives. So people are less and less and less inclined to actually help them. And now what? They've got nothing. Do they actually still have the car? I don't think they have the Durango. I think they have that old car that was either Rev's dad or Rev's uncle. I can't remember. A PS5 when they were so elusive and new. Bet you anything they got it from a scalper who sold it for $200 more than market price. Probably. And I think the PS5, did that not come out at like the end of 2019, 2020, like that year? That was at the start where they stopped having enough money to be able to pay their rent. So, I mean, that shows you where their priorities lie. Like, that money that they bought or that they used for the PS5 could have gone to make sure that they were current on their rent so they didn't get kicked out in Colorado. But did that happen? No. Things they claimed the pawn shop would not tape. Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's because they were just fucking lazy. Fucking lazy. Let me see, what's this? Oh my God, what is this? Okay, I have to pull this up on my computer. Just that sound of Shanny crying. Just an SUV, not a van. Yeah. They're probably without gas. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's going to be problematic too, because if they don't have money for gas and they're living in a car, where are they going to be able to legally park that car and not get kicked out? Right? Because what happens if they have no gas to go anywhere and they're parked somewhere and the cops tell them that they can't stay there and they can't move the car? The cops are going to come and tow the car. What happens then? Right? Then they're literally going to be living in a tent down by the river. All right, let me pull up this video from William. I have to pull up my Facebook though. Where did this video come from? Oh, you just sent it to me. Okay, let me see if I can actually. Oh, I can't forward it to myself. What the fuck? Can I download it? Oh, God damn it. All right, I'm going to have to save that for next time because it will not let me. Oh, here we go. Open link in a new tab. We'll just do it that way. I know what I'm doing. Pro streamer right here. Honest. Chrome tab. Where is it? Uh-oh, I have 2 Facebooks open. Is this the right one? No. Is this the right? That's the right one. There we go. Why is it so little? Can I make it bigger? Full screen? Well, that didn't help. Oh, well. Let's try it anyway. That cry is just, I've heard so many people use it in videos. It's fucking hilarious. I don't feel sorry for this woman. I don't at all. I really don't. All right. I'll give her $100 if she puts on a bikini with a pig snout and sings I'm a Piggy. Oh my God, no. That would scar us all for life. No. No. Credit fat photog. Oh, okay. No, please. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want her. I don't want to see that. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not paying attention. Jesus Christ. Here we go. Go back to this screen and everybody see. All right, we're good.
And now I'm being hit with this death sentence.
Again, we're being extremely dramatic.
So he can feel good about himself. He thinks he can go ahead and brag all over the internet. I'm helping 2 adults.
And he has been. He has been. Again, I am not a fan of G-Man whatsoever. But he is the reason that you guys have been able to stay afloat as much as you have over the last year. He's the reason that you've been able to eat. He's the reason that you had Christmas presents for your boys last year. Like, come on. I understand you being upset, but at least give G-Man the credit for what he's done for you so far. You don't just get to erase that because he's not giving you what you want now.
Barely.
She's out on the streets. She's going to very soon. She even cries like an overgrown toddler.
Brag on the internet while he's helping him. Well, you know what? Next week, G-Man, I'm probably going to be dead. Because of a blood clot that grows in my leg and goes to my brain.
Well, it won't do any damage to
and
the
that
brain.
Will be on your head. So you could sue Dragnot, because that's way more important than saving a sister's life. And I'm not.
You're not my husband or my boyfriend or my family. How dare you have priorities that are over me? Like, how self-absorbed can you be to think that you should be the center of somebody else's universe who has no obligation to you whatsoever and who has already sacrificed a lot for you so far? Like, this is the epitome of an entitled Karen. How dare you not support my lazy ass lifestyle so I can sit on a bed and play on the internet all day long? How dare you?
Lying about this.
Lying about what?
At all. I'm just like, you have 1 week to live.
1 week to live, folks.
And Jason knows this, and it horrifies him. What is he gonna do without me? He's gonna go fucking crazy.
If Jason was so concerned, why didn't Jason get up off his ass and go get a job to help support you so that he could save your life? Because, you know, he's your husband, remember? Yet your own husband is doing squat to make sure that you're taken care of. So that kind of speaks for itself, Shanny.
What is my children gonna do without me?
your children have been doing actually much better without you. Now that they're in foster care, they're putting on weight. They're going to school. Their schooling's improved. They've been doing actually pretty well without you.
Like, you're the one who started all the hatred on the internet anyway, G-Man!
Oh, now it's all G-Man's fault. Everything right from the beginning is all G-Man's fault.
Because you lost that fucking house because you lied! And you start all this shit on the internet and pretty much ruined our fucking lives because of this shit.
I thought it was Dragnot and the Shit Ninjas that ruined their lives. Zero accountability. Like, just none. No self-awareness, no accountability for their own situation. Like, absolutely nothing. Look, she shows up at your door 3 years later, you're 700 grand broker and homeless. Do you go to work so she can sit around? Oh, geez. So you can sit around all day complaining about you and on your dime? Of course not. Yeah. Ugh. He wants her dead anyway after he threatened. Yeah, he does. Like, I mean, he did threaten to kill her and the boys, spat on her. I mean, he's no better. But her angel must be helping golfing with Trump. I hope Jason never gets a job as long as the two are together. That's the video of Shannon literally saying she wants someone to work to support her forever. Yeah, that's what she wants. She wants someone with money who's going to sit here and pay for her every little whim so she can sit on her ass for the rest of her life and do nothing. And I'm sorry, you just don't get to coast through life like that. It doesn't happen. Can someone in PA please adopt those poor cats? The cats are probably gone at this point. I don't imagine that if they can't feed themselves and they're getting kicked out, I can't imagine. I mean, how long has it been since we've even heard about Gavin? And I think when they first moved into the motel, we got to see Watermelon for like one video, and then that was it. And we never really heard about the cats again. So I doubt they even had them anymore. The boys are going to thrive without Shanny. Yes, absolutely. Saying she doesn't ever want to have to work again. Who wants to, honestly, who ever really wants to work again? I could sit here, if I had all the money in the world and I didn't have to work, there's so many things that I would want to do with my life that I would be doing. But what adult out there actually wants to work? We work because we have to. We work because we have responsibilities. We work because we have responsibilities and we have families to take care of and financial obligations. It's a part of the world that we live in today, right? And unless you're super rich, you don't get to sit around and do whatever you want all day long. You know, and there's very few people that actually get to do that. And Shanny just kind of expects that there should be somebody out there to do that for her. And she's part of the rest of us, right? Those of us that have to work hard to get what we want, you know? And she's so delusional. I'm surprised she didn't dump Rev after the money dried up. Yeah, I'm surprised too, actually. I was expecting that. Like when they went through that whole Rev was sending dick pics to stripper bots on Facebook, I thought for sure that was going to be the end of them. But then she didn't have somebody lined up in the background waiting to take over for Rev, right? Because that's kind of what happened with Chris, is she left Chris because Rev was there in the background with money, right? And I'm absolutely certain that if she had somebody lined up with money, willing to go into a relationship, she would have left Rev in the dust a long time ago. But she's got no one else, you know, waiting in the sidelines. I worked 15 hours in one day and got offered 2 other jobs. Yeah, like, I mean, 90% of the population has to adult and go out there and work and pay bills and you know, deal with our responsibilities. And Shanny just doesn't really seem to understand that that's part of being an adult. People have warned Shanny for years that she was going to run out of options one day. Exactly. Like the situation she is in right now is a direct response to the lifestyle that she's been living up to this point and her avoiding her responsibilities. And eventually, yes, it was going to catch up with her and bite her in the ass like it's doing right now, which is why a majority of us do not feel sorry for her. because these are just simply the consequences of her actions.
And then drag not clean on it. And then he wouldn't let it go either.
It's all G-Man and
Everyone say,
Dre's
get a job, get a job. How do you get a job?
Like, you get a job like anybody else does. Like, how do you get a job? Could you imagine if, like, most people in the world would just sit at home and cry about, how do I get a job? Instead of actually getting up off their asses and going out and getting a job? Could you imagine?
When people have gone to every fucking place of employment and fucking screwed your name over.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that she had claimed that. She claims that her haters from the internet have gone around in Scranton to every single business that was hiring in Scranton and said, don't hire Shanny and Rev. Don't hire Shanny and Rev. They're awful people. Don't hire Shanny and Rev. That's somehow valid to her.
In my thinking, it's all on your hands. My blood is all on your hands.
I'm going to take zero responsibility for my own situation and just blame you because that makes me feel like a victim.
You cared more about your laughs. You cared more about your money. You cared more about your fucking everything else.
How dare you prioritize your own wants and needs over mine?
Than to think maybe my actions are affecting someone in a horrible way.
How dare you not put me first, G-Man?
And now I know I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna live through this. I know I'm not.
Who wants to take bets? Who wants to take bets that once this happens and she and her and Rev are out in the street, that there's going to be some kind of big Shanny's dead trope scandal? Who do you think that she's going to go all of a sudden put out a scandal on the internet and pretend that she's dead? As soon as she said, like, she started blubbering about she was going to die, I was like, oh, what if she's setting herself up to pull off an internet scam that she's dead to get money, that Rev can sit and collect money because poor Shanny's dead? That was my first thought. Like, I mean, that's pretty sad. That's really, really sad that when you have become such a liar on the internet and you've scammed before, that the people that are watching you would just assume that you're going to find another reason to scam people and that you would fake your own death to scam people. She also thinks that 1099 contracting work via YouTube was being employed. Yeah, and like, I mean, and that's the thing, is that she, when all of that happened, and she claims that she never broke the TOS, that it was just false flagging. If she views that as YouTube was actually employing her, that means that YouTube had the power to fire her for breaking their terms of service, right? So that means that was valid. That if they employed her, then they fired her for breaking TOS and, broadcasting child abuse on the internet. And it's funny that both G-Man and Rev and Shanny all claim that there was no child abuse. I watched it with my own eyes more than once. I saw it live, her abusing her children on the internet. So she morphed into those two things. There probably will be a scam. Hey, I have an idea. Let's all sing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead on that day. When Shanny's in a tight spot, this is the way she acts. Yeah, like, I mean, when they were getting evicted in Colorado, somebody get me G-Man. But whenever she gets comfortable again, she gets all insulting and arrogant towards others. Yeah, I mean, Shanny's in the streets, like, for real. So, yeah, she will be, St. Ronan. She, probably at the end of the month, They're probably paid up because they've been staying in a motel for the last 3 months. So, and G-Man's not able to support them anymore because he's working because of a surgery or who knows, whatever. Anyway, he's cut them off. So they're probably paid up until Friday on the 30th. And then after that, they'll be out. So they'll have to be living in whatever car it is that Rev is driving, which I don't think it's the Durango. I think it's that old car from the either 80s, early 90s that he was driving around. Yeah, that's very true. But I mean, he still has an obligation. Like, I mean, if he was really so worried about it and worried about his own situation and had any sense of self-preservation, leave her and go get a job and take care of yourself. I mean, he's not legally married to her. So it's not like he has to worry about getting divorced and her taking all of his money that she already has taken all his money. But regardless, he wouldn't have to pay like alimony or anything like that because they're not legally married. He can just take off. She faked Von Helton's death for money one time with G-Man. Oh, so she's done that kind of scam before. So I wouldn't be surprised then. Grift G-Man. G-Myth, yes. Is G-Man getting back surgery? I don't know, honestly. All I know is from what he's put on video is he's been talking about he has to get a surgery. He's got to take time off work because he has to have a surgery. That's all I know. If there's more information out there about that, then I haven't heard it yet. She knows she'll be refused disability. Yeah, like, didn't they talk about both of them applying for disability when they first got to Pennsylvania? Like, they were supposed to get papers and fill out for disability and all that. Did they, like, not ever follow through and get declined, or did they just not bother to apply? I never even thought that they didn't finish up with that whole storyline. But she's waiting for an appointment from the doctor. This was like 4, 5, 6 years ago. Yeah. I knew that they actually, like, Rev at least had the forms for disability. But again, that was a storyline, a plot line that just kind of gotten forgotten. Obituary scam. Yeah, right. He should absolutely leave her and take care of himself. He's a mentally ill person, both victim and victimizer at this point. Yeah, like they're just so toxic together. They're toxic people. They're toxic together. They're toxic to everybody around them. And they've dug themselves into this hole. And now they're blubbering because they can't get themselves out. And they're expecting somebody to drop them a lifeline when already those lifelines has been dropped and they've just used them up. They've burned all their bridges. And now they're whining and crying that there's none left. And we don't feel sorry for them. You know? Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I would have more sympathy for them if they were actually showing some kind of initiative and some kind of interest in helping themselves. But they haven't even done that. You know, Shanny just wants to sit on her ass, play on the internet all day, and have somebody take care of her and all of her responsibilities. And that's just not how real life works.
Doctors have told me to keep my legs elevated. They told me to stay on bed rest.
Oh.
You don't care.
No. Everybody's done caring, Shanny. Everybody's done caring. You have been extremely fortunate to have the people that have cared for you up until this point. And now you actually have to start caring about yourself. We don't feel sorry for you anymore.
You don't care. So a Dragnaught's more important than preserving the life of your sister.
And this is part of the reason why, too, that I think this is all kind of part of a performance, too, is because Shanny and G-Man have a lot of communication in real life. So there's no need for all of this between the two of them to be online. So this is all purely for views and sympathy and guilt, right? Because she could have called up G-Man on his phone and had a conversation with him over the phone. Or G-Man could have gone to the hotel where he's been paying for them to stay, and they could have talked it out. But no, we have to have this whole spectacle on the internet to see, for us to enjoy, which, I mean, on a side note, I appreciate, but this is all performative to a degree. because there's no reason for this to be online. This would be like me and my husband having a fight and posting all of our videos of us fighting back and forth online, right? It's totally not necessary for us to do that, but we know that having a fight like that would draw attention and draw views, which would be, woohoo. This, and that's what I think that Shanny and G-Man are going for, partially anyway.
Will be on your head, G-Man, and you damn well know that will be on your head on Judgment Day. You're gonna have to face Christ.
Oh, and this is also another kind of trope she has, where Jesus and God are her avengers, and that whoever harms Shanny in any way, says anything bad about Shanny or does anything bad to Shanny, he's going to avenge her. And I've seen this quite a few times with her, just in like the 2 years that I've been following her, is that she thinks that Jesus is her personal hitman, which is hilarious.
And Jesus is going to be like, why did you allow your sister to suffer and die when you could have done something different? I put those two in your care for a reason. To test you. And you failed your test. And you lied. Shanny and Rev will never be homeless as long as I live, you liar.
Oh, they'll never be homeless as long as I live. So that's basically all it is she's just expecting G-Man to take care of her. G-Man has slowly been pulling away for a while now, right? Yeah. And I mean, like, he's been enabling them for so long, and it's been like a really, really toxic relation. It's almost like G-Man's been in an abusive relationship with them, and he's just kind of trying to pull away from the threesome, and he couldn't make like a really hard, cold cut between them. I'm wondering too if, like, when he had them removed or made them move out from the house that they were in, if the way that he did it and then how long he took to do it was because he was worried about them having squatters' rights. I wonder. Because I was like, if G-Man ever wanted to get them evicted from that house, how would he do that? What if they did claim squatters' rights, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter now at this point that they're out, but homeless shelters are typically sex segregated. Yep, normally. Shannon probably doesn't want to give Rev that out, honestly. Too much time away will cause him to maybe perhaps break away emotionally, psychologically. Yeah. He really needs to be separated from her I'm surprised that after like the 2 weeks of being in jail, and when he came out and he was looking so much healthier and happier, and how he just kind of went right back into that situation, he's going to need to be away from her for a longer period of time to really break free. We'll probably start getting attempt videos for sympathy and money. Oh, probably. I mean, again, if they have until the 30th, that means that there's going to be probably a lot happening between now and Friday, unless they're getting kicked out early. She did say at the beginning of this that this was probably going to be her last video. So I don't know. And I haven't looked to see if Rev has made any videos yet, but we'll see. A lot of messages are getting held for some reason in chat, and I'm trying to keep up with them between rounds. Why is that happening? You have a wrench, don't you, Will? Yes, you do. I don't understand why so many comments are being held. That's so weird. Sorry, guys. I have... I really don't want to. I'm muted? Can you guys hear me? I'm not muted on my end. I was just talking to myself because I was looking at YouTube.
You lied to get the house. You lied to get everything from us, and you took everything from us. Everything we owned is in your possession. That's all I have to say. You're a horrible person.
You paid and you supported me for so long. You're such a horrible person. Like, talk about an ungrateful bitch. Totally. Like, I mean, again, I don't like G-Man. I don't like G-Man at all. But still, it's not his responsibility to take care of your fat ass when you have a scrawny little man next to you that's perfectly capable of going out and getting a job, but neither one of you have even made an attempt to take care of yourselves in any way. The entire stream lagged the fuck out for me. It could have been me as well. I don't know. The weather is pretty shitty. I can't wait, because in 7 fucking days, I'm going to be back to having regular internet, and I'll be able to stream and actually be on camera, and all my shit's not going to lag. It's going to be so much better. So much better. I was just quiet. Oh, it might have been my mic as well, because I broke my adapter for my fancy gaming headset. You know, the one that I had that had I used to have my cat ears, which I have no idea where my cat ears went, but I broke the adapter to use that for my microphone, and I have to get a new one. Man, Shanny. Hey, Pot, come over here and meet my friend Kettle. Try not to kill each other, right? I mean, like, I don't know. I don't feel sorry for her in the slightest. And, you know, sometimes hitting very rock bottom like this is what is needed to kick people in gear. And maybe that's what will happen for them. I don't know. Rev would rather get stuck on the train tracks than to live with Shanny. Yeah. Rev didn't have anything to say that whole exchange. You know, he could have piped up. He could have piped up and had something to William, my husband makes enough fun of my Canadian accent as it is. You don't need to join him. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, friends. I'm going to get going. I don't know if I'm going to be on in the next week or so. I'm thinking of doing like a small like vlogging series of us, you know, going through the actual process of moving and ending up in Pennsylvania. So it's the exact same accent as Kat. Yeah, well, I mean, she's Wisconsin, and we're fair. There's a lot of similarities between Wisconsin and Canada when it comes to accent and the, you know, the way we talk and stuff like that. So the GPS took me here. Oh God, I watched that live and I was just fucking hilarious. It was so cringy, but I just couldn't stop watching. Could not stop watching. I haven't in a while. No, you haven't. Well, we haven't really had a chance to talk much in the last little while because both of us have been busy. But once I'm in Pennsylvania and everything's settled down and the move is all done and life kind of somewhat returns to normal, then I can, you know, start getting back into the groove, because I would really like to get on a regular streaming schedule and start doing that kind of stuff again. Because when I first moved, I assumed that I would be getting my green card fairly quickly because we have to pay for it at the border. But as it turns out, after I get my green card, 10 days after I move to the US, I should have it. But then on top of that, I have to then turn around and apply for a social security number, which I cannot do until I actually get the green card. And that can take up to 6 weeks. So I'm probably not going to be able to get a job before Christmas time, depending on how long that process takes. So with the girl in school and my husband at work and my in-laws away at work, it's just going to be me sitting around the house by myself for the first 6 to 8 weeks, not really having anything else to do until I wait for those cards to come in. So my life is supposed to be normal in like 2 weeks. Okay, well then that's good. That's good. Then we can catch up, because I enjoy talking to you, Will, which is why I constantly message you and give you updates on what's been going on with the whole immigration thing. Because to be honest, William, you were like one of the first 5 people I messaged after family to let them know that my immigration had been approved. So we do need to catch up. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. It has been an hour, and this was an impromptu stream. I enjoyed talking to everybody and seeing everybody, and I will keep you updated on what's going on with the trip to Pennsylvania and all that. And I hope everyone has a safe weekend and a safe upcoming week. I love you all. Bye, guys.